I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Surface analysis right now across the country shows that high pressure is in control, sitting mostly over Nebraska and northern parts of Kansas. However, we are stuck under some pesky cloud cover over the eastern half of the Corn Belt still. Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Michigan, even eastern sections of Illinois still stuck with cloud cover, and that means temperatures have been slow to move there. We're starting to get a little bit of warming trying to work into western Corn Belt areas thanks to sunshine. Also watching a significant batch of moisture build over East Texas, southern Arkansas, and into Louisiana. The lower delta going to be picking up some moisture probably a little bit later on this afternoon and into tomorrow. As we go forward, we're still going to put together several more dry days across the Corn Belt. We don't see our next big weather system coming into corn and soybean country until sometime late Saturday in the Western Belt, probably sometime Sunday morning in the Eastern Corn Belt. Once it starts, it goes for about 2 to 2.5 days. I don't see moisture completely done in the Corn Belt till sometime early Tuesday morning. A little bit of an interesting scenario building on the models over the past couple of runs. Last night's GFS and European model both tried to extend or string out the moisture across the Corn Belt through the middle of next week, effectively running the system that starts over Memorial Day weekend on into the one that we have coming in the 29th and the 30th. If that were to be right, that would mean the models are saying that we've got a chance of moisture across most of the Corn Belt from basically Saturday night, Saturday afternoon of this week, all the way through Saturday of next week, a week's worth of rain chances. Now, I'll tell you right now, I don't think that's the right kind of solution. We'll have to watch very, very closely to see if a break does happen. The thing that concerns me about this, and keep in mind, we're not changing our forecast yet. We're still looking for a shutoff of moisture Tuesday morning and then moisture to reinitialize probably sometime Friday over most of the Corn Belt, maybe some thunderstorms on Thursday. But what concerns me about holding firm on my forecast right now is there's a decent amount of model agreement. The European is showing it. The GFS is showing it. Maybe some of these shorter-term models will try and turn the tide the other way as we get closer. If we are going to be changing our forecast at all, allowing for more rain through midweek next week, we will make that change tomorrow morning and or tomorrow midday. So stay tuned for that. Right now, we're going to stay with the status quo, looking for some confirming model runs one way or the other. Now, after that system toward the end of next week, that's going to give us about a half to 1 inch. We will then look for another weather system around the 3rd of June, another one around the 6th. You get the idea. This weekend system here, Memorial Day, I still think half to 1.5 inch rainfall totals. Notice that top end range number is a little lower this morning. I don't think the rain's quite as intense. But generally speaking, this means that the biggest dry window for the heart of the Corn Belt, or most of the Corn Belt, well, we're in it right now. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, dry in the Corn Belt. We may only see a 2-day window pop up for the rest of the 2-week period right on through early June. So not the best scenario for trying to get remaining planting done, but I still think there are opportunities, especially if sunshine can break through. If sunshine can break through, we should see good drying, quick drying here short term after the minor rains in the past 12 hours, and then we'll be on our way. So with that, we're going to take a look at other areas that are of concern. One of them to me is the hard red winter wheat belt. Looking at heavy rains there, we all know the headlines. We've seen the flooding headlines and things like that. You know what? We've got another half to 2 inch rain that comes across there starting tomorrow, going through Saturday from Texas all the way up through eastern Colorado, southern Nebraska. Then we shift gears into a pattern that's more thunderstorm based. I think we could see some very unsettled weather across the central and southern plains as we go through next week. A very strong thunderstorm complex, maybe even one of these ones that fuels itself, firing off Wednesday, Thursday of next week, southern Nebraska, northern Kansas, and then moving eastward. So we still have to keep rain in the forecast picture for hard red winter wheat areas. Actually, let's just say the entire plains from I-90 southward. But we are shifting, and we kind of mentioned this in our previous couple of midday updates. We're shifting away from the slow-moving, intense rain over a number of hours kind of setup to one that's a lot more hit and miss. A thunderstorm pops up, rips through, and we're done. So maybe that'll help with some of the flooding in general, but keep in mind, thunderstorms out there are definitely going to be able to put up some pretty big numbers pretty fast. I'm especially concerned over northern Kansas and southern Nebraska as we go through midweek next week. Could be seeing some of those storms, A, be strong, and B, produce some heavy torrential rains in a short period of time. That's the way things are stacking up so far. If you've got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.